This is Political Core, the non-PC edition of The Aaron Cruz Show, where you decide the topics. The only place where you get the news you want from the people you trust. We are your balanced and accurate information resource.
Good evening and welcome to the Aaron Cruz Show, coming to you from Palm Springs, California. This is Political Core. I'm your hostess, Aaron Cruz. Thank you for joining me. Tonight's topic, the Donald takes charge, tax reform and ACA. So this has really been quite the exciting day. I'm sure many of you have seen what's been going on the TV. There were several interviews today, or should I say press releases, or I don't know, Rose Garden talks, or powwows, or whatever you want to call it. Our president was loud and proud and in charge. It's awesome. And I'm really excited to actually share something with you. So one of the things that we talked about last week was the inability of Congress to actually really get anything markable done, with healthcare reform. So yesterday, I was listening to a press conference with Donald Trump, and you see this all over the TV right now too. Donald Trump and our lovely Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Oh gosh, I was just tearing my hair out listening to these guys because, but Trump, you have to love the guy in a lot of ways, because as much as the turtle McConnell, he just goes on his way and tries to kind of undermine Donald Trump in this press conference and kind of downplay some discussions that they've had and progress that they've had with the ACA or healthcare reform and talks on tax reform and other things. The Donald comes in, the businessman comes in, and he, it was very interesting. I'll tell you. So Mitch McConnell, he comes in and he says, well, we may not be able to get tax reform done this year. And, he just slugs. I mean, along. Well, we may not be able to get it done this year, but we'll, we're try to get it done. And Donald Trump comes in and he says, well, I would really like, all the words he uses. Very simple. He speaks very simply. And he basically says that he would like to see it done as soon as possible, preferably by the end of the year. Okay? Sooner if possible. And then Donald Trump goes on to remind everybody about President Barack Obama and how he didn't even get Obamacare, passed. He didn't get Obamacare passed by, until his second year. I mean, yeah, sure, it started getting there towards the end of the year, Christmas and all that, but it didn't get signed until the next year. I think it was in March. So, Donald Trump brings up a good, interesting thing here, and I kind of agree and disagree with Donald Trump on this. So Donald Trump brought up yesterday an interesting perspective about how, Congress has been, and even prior presidents have tried to get universal health care or some sort of health care program in place through the years. Unsuccessful. But they worked towards it, and they finally got something for Obama to put through. And even with the resistance, all of the resistance of the Tea Party and all of the marches and everything else, Obama was able to get his votes and push it through and sign it the following March after his election. this brings up an interesting point because, Donald Trump said himself, he's just in month 9 or, month 9 of his election, his first term, and so here he is. They're having talks. They passed something in the House. They were working on it in the Senate. Didn't really go through. So he puts forward this executive order, attempting to open and loosen some provisions and nullify some sections and what have you. But what he said yesterday was interesting because he said that Donald Trump said, in fact, that Congress really hasn't had that much time to put anything together. Now, I disagree. I've seen, I'm part of Heritage Action and the Sentinel program, and I read the majority of the things they release, and I pretty much watch online all the time what's going on. And what I see are many different options put forward by, numbers and numbers of members of Congress. It's just nobody can get on the same page. Everybody has a different perspective. Everybody has a different idea, and nobody wants to agree to this or that or the other. They aren't coming together. They're not doing the coming together, meeting of the minds. Okay? And so what I see is we have all these balls in the air, yet none of them are none of them are coming together and bringing some solutions. And so, as I've said probably a dozen times and on prior shows, I really feel like Congress, and we can't go back, Congress should have had something on Donald Trump's desk. They had far more than enough time to put together something and come together and have a meeting of the minds, even with their even with the opposite side, even with, across the aisle. All right, they've had time. They've had opportunity to get that done and prepare it and have it on his desk when he walked in to office on January 20th. Now they didn't. And so they've had this shuffle. 9 months go through. We missed that deadline of September 30th. Now we got to have the, more votes, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. Just kick the can. And I really did like what Donald Trump had to say in a lot of ways. Look, we are in month 9. And yes, Obama didn't get things done to the second year. But I didn't like how he made an excuse for Congress. He made an excuse for the GOP and Republicans that it was okay that they didn't have everything ready, that they've, they're not agreeing on prior bills that they've come up with even when Obama was in office, and that they submitted and put forward. What are they doing? Why are they writing bills that aren't getting support? Why are they writing all of these things? Why are they coming up with this energy, producing these bills and nothing happening? It's just a waste of energy. Why not put that energy and effort forth coming together and coming up with a plan, where everybody can agree that it would help the American people, because the common denominator here is that the American people are the ones that are suffering, and that money is coming off of their tables, and then what we have here are the politicians who really just don't give a darn. Because really, if they did care, if they cared more about the American people and less about their re-election campaign, they would actually do something actionable, to benefit the American people. Now, after Obama wrote his beautiful executive order, which dismantled some things in Obamacare, it got insurance companies a little scared. Okay, because right now, under the current Obamacare, everybody has to have insurance. Not only does everybody have to have insurance, but everybody has to have a certain level of insurance and coverages. And the premiums are such that they pretty much have been able to hike things up as much as they can to make sure that they can cover the costs for those who haven't had health care. Remember, I talked about this last week. Those people who have not had health coverage and not received health care are going to have, perhaps, especially if they're older people, they're going to have higher health care costs because they may have needs, things that haven't been taken care of, deferred maintenance of their bodies, okay? And so insurance companies have had to make allowances to take in consideration those sorts of costs, right? So as Donald Trump starts taking action, the insurance companies are starting to get a little unsettled. Now, there are those people that say insurance companies, the big bad wolf, he's just giving them a whole bunch of, leeway and letting them off the hook. We need to hold them to the wind. Well, look, what I saw today and what you may have seen as well, and I've been reading about it, is we actually have, and the New York Times reports, okay, I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of this. We actually have, and Donald Trump brought it up in his speech today, okay, he brought it up. 2 members of Congress were really concerned and had a meeting of the minds. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? They had a meeting of the minds and were able to come together and have an idea? I mean, what blows me away is these people in Congress are, some of our most highly educated, well-off people, education-wise. Okay, they don't come from a background of, real life. Sometimes I don't think, because they certainly can't relate to you and me and how we need more money in our pockets, that's our own, and more food on our tables. But they're highly educated individuals, and you would think that with their education they had seen, professors and others coming together and having debates and other things and talking about the issues and trying to find solutions as they work through their schooling. In any case, I mean, I've seen it, and I have, my background is varied. I'm self-educated and learned my life, everything in it, through experience and obviously through different sorts of specialized training throughout the years, hours and hours and hours. Oh, gosh, hours and hours. Let's see here. If you don't know anything about my background, you can look it up on www.aaroncruz.com. And read it there, or send me an email, and I'll be happy to talk with you about it. But let's take a look right now at these highly educated individuals who are making decisions for us all and apparently cannot have a meeting of the minds. There are 2 there that do, and my question is, why? So who are they? Senators Patty Murray and Lamar Alexander. Okay, the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions in Washington. That's the picture that's up there. Now, these 2, interestingly enough, these 2 came together. Okay, Republican, Lamar is a Republican and Patty is a Democrat. Okay, they came up with an idea for 2 years to help fund subsidies. Okay, short-term certainty for insurers. Now, remember, if you pull that rug out, okay, the insurance companies are going to have to bring the money in somewhere, okay, because they have to provide the care, they have to provide the insurance coverages, but where's the money going to come from? Okay, that, where that money is going to come from? Premiums. You know who those premiums are going to come from? The people. So, and it's not going to come from the people who are getting Obamacare because they don't have enough income and they don't have to pay for their health insurance premiums, right? Or at least they have reduced premiums, yes? So, and if everybody has to have insurance, I mean, it's just like a big round around a merry-go-round. And so, basically, what they did is they came up with an idea, cost-sharing reduction of payments to reimburse insurance companies for lowering deductibles, co-payments, and other out-of-pocket costs for low-income customers. Basically, without those, the insurance company said premiums for many customers purchasing plans under the Affordable Care Act would shoot up and profits squeeze. Some of the companies would probably leave the market. Quote, "In my view, this agreement avoids chaos," Mr. Alexander said, "and I don't know a Democrat or Republican who can benefit or who benefits from chaos." So when I heard Trump today, he said that Obamacare is virtually dead. And what I heard Trump say in my ears and in my mind today, when I heard him talk about these two who had come together, I heard him say that he was welcoming the fact that these two came together and had an idea, a solution to ease some of the concerns of insurance companies. Okay. What I also saw there was I saw the businessman in Donald Trump saying, hey, people aren't bringing me anything to the table. If you bring something to the table, we'll take a look at it. If it makes sense, if it looks like it's actionable, if it looks like it might, be beneficial to the people, to the process, we'll go with it. Donald Trump is a man, I believe, who sees the big picture, okay? And he wants solutions, okay? He wants policy put in place so people can take action and find solutions to those problems. One of the problems is those premiums. And does he want to see them skyrocket? No. So what he's saying is that he's okay with that possible 2-year easing. Okay. In the meantime, he said that they have very soon, which he would like to pass after tax reform is passed, a piece of policy that would, he didn't really say replace Obamacare, but something in there that Congress could come together on for the American people to solve many of the issues relating to Obamacare. I like that, but I also like that he was open to something, open to ideas from Congress. What this tells me is that our congressional members are not coming to the president and really providing him opportunities to give American people solutions to these big problems. These are big ticket problems that are affecting Americans nationwide. Less money in their pockets, high premiums, high deductibles, hard to get care because you can't afford the deductible or you can't afford the co-insurance or you can't, you're paying the premiums because you don't want to get fined and sent a bill by the IRS. But I mean, it's really, really quite a difficult situation for many. So what it tells me is these congressional members aren't really coming together and they aren't saying, look, this might be a solution. And these two did. And I'm very proud of them. I am not saying that I'm in full agreement with what they're doing. In terms of how they're doing it, I haven't been able to find anything on the wording. Maybe I'm blind here, but I looked up about 15 different articles and everybody's talking about it and nobody's actually providing the wording. And that's one of the other things that I really struggled with Obamacare. So we had the first piece of legislation, if you remember, when this was, Obamacare was passed years ago. We got one version of it. And then, of course, all of the amendments come in and yada, 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 yada. And I would love to see the actual bill, the one that has all of the, amendments and all of the pieces to the pie. I'd really like to know what's in it. Because, Nancy Pelosi, we still don't know what's in that bad boy. All we know is it's bad news. It's made premiums and deductibles both skyrocket and costs skyrocket. So I would like to call on the Trump administration to provide all materials, not just the skeleton bill. I'm sure they're in there somewhere. I just haven't been able to find them. And I'm a regular Joe, just like many of you. And this should be something that's readily available right there when they talk about it. Even fake news, not even fake news, but big media. They should be providing not just the conversations, not just the interviews and the quotes, but they should be actually providing links to the legislation. Why not? This is the information age. This stuff should be readily available. So that's pretty much my take on it. Is Congress is dragging their tail feathers. Hopefully we'll go ahead and we'll get some tax reform here before the end of the year, like Trump was pushing for. But the biggest thing is today, what we saw. We saw the Donald. We saw the Donald in action. We saw him working with the American people. You may not like everything that Donald Trump does. You may not like that Donald Trump tweets. You may not like that he's uncouth and he kind of says things off of, shooting on and talking off of the hip, whatever. You may not like that he uses simple words and he repeats himself. You may not like his hairdo. You may not like his wife. Okay? You may not like him for many different reasons. But you have to like that he is open to Congress coming to him with solutions. You have to like that he didn't just shoot down an opportunity to look at the bigger picture and find a bridge, temporary bridge to maybe one of the problems that's going to come up. What that tells me is, even if you don't like many of the things about Donald Trump, is he is ready to take action. If he sees a problem and you bring him maybe a solution, he may say, that's not a good solution. We're not even going to think about that. But there is the opportunity and the ability for you to get what you need to get done if you just approach him and you just bring it down to the bottom line and say, hey, this could work for the American people. This could help with this situation. That can help with that situation. And maybe offset this or that or the other. He's open. He sees the big picture, and he's ready to take action. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I don't care if you're a man or a woman or you identify as a dog, okay, or a cat. I really don't care who you are. But if you're an American citizen, you have to agree that it would be good. I think it would be good, and I would find it very difficult if you could disagree. It's good to have an American president who's open to Congress coming to him with actionable solutions that he's ready to do right now. If there's something that needs to get done, there's a need, and you provide a solution or a way, he's open. Okay? I would have to say that many of you, I would find it hard to believe that you could disagree with that. Because whether you have a D or an R, we need solutions. We need real solutions. Nobody wants to see somebody who's poor go without health care. Care, not insurance, care. Nobody wants to see people who are, don't have a lot suffer. Nobody wants to see that. What we want to see are solutions that are equitable, that people can afford, because I can't afford to support everybody else. The rich, they may have money, but they earned it. Many of them have worked their whole lives, worked hard. That's their money, and tax is just the government taking your money and giving it to everybody else. The government doesn't have something that if they have something, it's because they've taken it from somebody else, and now they're giving it and spreading it around. So, nobody wants to see people suffer or go without health care, but we have to find solutions. Help give people a hand up, not a handout. There are those who have paid into benefits or Social Security or disability or other types of entitlements. Those are entitlements they paid in. Those monies should have been guarded, in Medicare and all of these things. You don't want to see people go without. But at the same time, the solutions have to be reasonable. And right now, Obamacare is failing America, and it's not just failing the people who are members or have to ascribe to Obamacare. It's failing the general public who are, have private insurance even, and those premiums have skyrocketed. So it's good to see that President Donald Trump is flexible, that he's open for opportunity. It's good to see that Donald Trump is ready to take action when needed. I also, for a minute here, I just want to talk about McConnell, and I want to talk about what I saw yesterday. I do still see that the GOP is undermining Donald Trump. They say there's someone on the, they kind of said that they were on the same page. What I heard, the underlying of that section of the interview yesterday was, yeah, they're on the same page, but, and I don't want to create doubt there, but I'm telling you, when I heard Mitch McConnell go on about, well, it may, this may go till next year, what I heard Trump say is that's not what we want. And that just tells me that, yeah, okay, McConnell may see that Congress is slow to act. That's not Donald Trump's fault, okay? This stalling and churning and kicking the can and dragging it, dragging along by Congress is not Donald Trump's fault. Okay, it's not your or my fault. Congress, actually, it is your or my fault. It is your or my fault. It's our responsibility to put pressure enough on Congress, our congressional members, for them to take action. Okay, so we should take responsibility for that portion. From there, Congress should know what their constituents want, and they should act accordingly. Yes? So, on that note, what I want to say to you is this. I'm going to encourage you, again, like I do every single show, I'm going to say, please call your member of Congress. Okay, the phone number is 202-224-3121. And you can look on house.gov or senate.gov for who your congressional members are. You can also look up those or other resources on my website at aaroncruz.com. Or you can send emails and inquiries to info@aaroncruz.com. Make sure also to like me on social media, like us on social media, Political Core, The Aaron Cruz Show, or if you want all things politics, excuse me, if you want all things politics, go to @WagnerGirlie, WagnerGirle, on Twitter. As always, we want to grow together to find common solutions and to find common ground. I will always answer any questions I can, all right? Never hesitate to reach out, okay? We are in this together. I want to just also point out to you, I have some exciting news. As many of you know, I've been working on some books. I've been writing for quite a long time, and my first book is finished, and the release date is coming up. We will be having an exciting announcement about the release date and what's to come, what exactly the book is about. So make sure you check out the website, aaroncruz.com, get on our mailing list, and you will definitely be the first in the know. Everybody on there will get an email from me as soon as I have it to release to you. I do have the date, but I need some more details. So, in any case, I hope y'all have a good night, and just hang tight. Always act, don't react. Yes? So when you see the news, take a deep breath and know that everything is going to be okay. It'll all come together. We just need to play our part and get involved. Yes? Thank you again for joining me, Aaron Cruz, on Political Core, The Aaron Cruz Show. Join me again Thursday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Queen of Politics, where we have a little bit more fun while we talk the issues, always with information you can use to make positive change in your community, in your state, and in the nation. Have a blessed evening, everyone. God bless you, and God bless America.
To hear more and to learn more on how you can make an impact, or about Political Core and The Aaron Cruz Show, visit us online at aaroncruz.com. That's ERINCRUZ.com. Thank you for joining us, and see you at the same time and the same place next week.